What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 7 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Karl Franz Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, we have completed Karl's third and final quest battle, acquiring the Silver Seal and completing the Emblems of the Emperor set effect, giving us additional diplomatic relations with the Empire and a +2 bonus control for all provinces, which is, again, super worth it, as we are certainly intending to get more confederations going, which means keeping on taking those control hits every time we do, and I guess the diplomatic relations hits as well. So the more that we ameliorate that, the better. Otherwise, we spent pretty much the entire episode trying to chase down the Morsleep Howlers, an annoying little force of a rogue army. I was about to say Skaven. I mean, I guess they were led by the Skaven, but it was a smattering of different factions: Imperial, Greenskin, Skaven, and Chaos all together in one. Kind of neat, but annoying, mainly because they split off into 3 different armies. Fortunately, they're gone now, and while this portion of the Empire isn't quite safe, we will leave Karl to deal with the Fekendites and try to knock Chaos out while we head southward. We have this entire territory of Skaven, and this entire territory of Wood Elves, and of course Sylvania and portions of Stirland belonging to the Vampire Counts. And somewhat ironically, because the Stirland is the province that has taken a lot of the territory of Sylvania historically, as in not taking it over, as in it belongs to them now, because Sylvania, not so province anymore. But anyway, Karl, you do not need to move. In fact, I'm not sure that anybody needs to move. I could have just ended the turn. Alrighty, well, I guess we're going to end the turn now. I'm going to assume that I didn't forget anything, so we will skip the garrison lord and assign skill points, and I don't think we can get attacked. Let's hope not. Let's go. Alright, looks like no attack, supervisor, constructor, ally mobilizes towards settlement, Wafels. Why does the game keep telling you that the Greenskin Was are failing? I assume this, the Wafels thing means that they didn't achieve the objective that they wanted to, but whatever. Anyway, ally occupies settlement Midland. Oh, at last, you've done it. Now you can hopefully build it up for when we're ready to confederate you. Also, Boris, go do the same thing and take Commendum, and thereby you'll have 2 provinces, more or less, 3 provinces actually, to deal with like that. Actually, speaking of provinces, you, Dolph Hertwigans, are going to grab Eldogson real quick so that we can make this province ours fully. And I guess Wolfric Giga, you are going to keep following until you are ready to be, leading an army of your own. Technology research to the Conclave of Light. I do like the additional diplomatic relations and all of that. Don't really care for the diplomatic talks, as we're not wasting prestige on it at the current time, but eventually we will. In battle, eliminate a lord belonging to Moussillon. I would love to. We are busy right now with issues with the actual empire, not Bretonia, but eventually. We do still have students available to us. Interesting. Okay, so we need to actually get some more of those ideally, but I don't see us leveling anymore this turn, as I don't think anybody's in range, so it is what it is. Anyway, Barded Warhorse, and we're good. Alright, first of all, the Eldrick Gassa, you are going to head out here towards Salkalten, and we'll see if we can take it. I'm a little bit concerned about the Vargeist and other stuff in this army, and the fact that we don't have any artillery or magic here, but hopefully you can deal, and we shall see. You, Karl, are going to head directly towards Demahar at Rosefells, which, I guess because of the road, it would be faster to go like this rather than cut through the forest. It's kind of interesting. Alright, fine. And then Waldemar, I guess you're going to keep following us. Somebody's going to pick up a plague, unfortunately. I fully expect it at any rate. But it is what it is. And what can you do? Hopefully it's not Karl. And oh no, I thought it was Festus himself. I wonder where his main stack is. Oh, there it is. Well, we found that out quickly. Looks like he's going to try to go after Wolfenberg and Dare. That's not good. It's a tier 4, so it would have been nice to be able to confederate it at its full level, but oh well. Anyway, technology. We gotta pick a new one here. We can't afford the Emperor of the Empire as yet, as it's too much, but we probably still want to head towards assembly line. Yeah, I know it takes 11 turns, which is a long time, and there's other good stuff like upgrading all of our missile and melee infantry alike, but it's a 20% increase effectively to all of our industry. Well, not effectively, but it's not quite a 20% increase to our income because we make a lot from trade and the capitals and ports and stuff, but it's still pretty darn solid. Anyway, governors obviously don't need to do anything about them. Gavin von Wolfen, we're going to have to waste some money here and take Liske, as that will allow us to get a full province. There we go. And then you can immediately go into Council of Burgomeisters. Lovely. It's probably not going to make it as significantly cheaper, so we can just upgrade you or start upgrading the hamlet there, but wait on the rest for next turn. Probably should actually upgrade this town so that we can get a toll road or whatever the building is called that gives us the adjacency growth bonus. Anyway, Jurgen, I'm sorry, dude, you are still going to have to keep delivering those Karobergs. Yeah, he's just been wandering around. I should have just sent him this way from the start rather than going like this and then deciding, oh, you know what, actually Karl is going this way. It's hard to catch up to Karl, in my defense. Anyway, Theodoric von Blutzen, who will eventually... Oh, actually, we could send you to Eldugson, which would save this guy a turn. Because it's not like you have to be anywhere. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Alright, well, you can go down there. We can then probably get rid of the Celestial Wizard and then... Oh, right, he's level 12, and I didn't want to do that. Elspeth, you are not quite in range of the Nemesis Crown dig site, but you will get there next turn, unless I'm mistaken. Alright. Close as you can be. And then, friendly, you have to deliver those Nordland Mariners to the army with the Free Company Militia. Not to worry, there will also be Nordland Mariners in the Nordland Nautical Nonsense Army, but that'll be a bit. I also note that the North Confederacy territory of Eckendorf would also give us another Free Company Militia unit of, well, slightly better Free Company Militia. I actually think that their stats are almost identical. I think they have 10 more armor and that's it. But hey, I'll take any additional bonus Free Company I can get. I do love them. So, Dolph Pritzcock, you, sir. Yes, with your champion, we purpose-built this guy for a reason, and as some of you have gotten wise to it in the comments, yes, he will be Ludwig I don't know if this is gonna fit. Yeah. Alright. Ludwig Schwarzhelm. He is champion, but he is the Emperor's champion and bodyguard, etc., etc., etc. We're going to build him out to be a very strong fighter in Karl's army, and he will sort of be at the head of the Royal Altdorf Griffites, which we intend to put into Karl's army as well. It should be fun. Actually, just to double check, Mighty Forge buffs steam tanks, and Honest Steel buffs the Griffites. Alright, so that's good. And I still do want those couple of steam tanks in Karl's army. Ibn Immelschilder, you... go by water, I think. We need to put you in one of the armies. Frankly, a lot of armies in Aegis, so we'll see which one. But yeah, we're gonna need those warrior priests to give everybody casualty or punishment trait. You, please find Teclis. We... Oh, okay, no, that's not Teclis. That's a Teclis. How are you doing, Teclis? You don't want to be friends. Well, that's not nice. You are fighting Clan Vulcan, Clan Treacherich, and Teeth Snatches. I don't see the Teeth Snatches coming up here, so we will, okay, after we check other quick deals. Okay, right, Taliban clan's still alive, yeah, okay. Non-aggression pacts are irrelevant to us at the current time. I guess we're probably better off trading with the Marches of Kuran now. Alright, so, let's do that. And then we'll trade with Telebekland as needed when needed. The rest of this... no, we can ignore. I don't want to make alliances with the dwarfs that are around the Wood Elves right now, because they're a little bit iffy in the sense that it's a decent likelihood of pissing all the Wood Elves off, and it's a lot of Wood Elf factions in there. If we can get a defensive alliance with all of them, that is a significant boon to us, both from a trading perspective and from a bonus character XP perspective. So, there is that. Anyway, we're going to join your war against the Teeth Snatches. Okay, what about Teeth Snatches and Scabby Eye? Yeah, there we go. That'll give us a trade agreement at least. Make some money, and most likely those guys will ask to peace out eventually anyway. And I really, once again, don't really expect them to come up here, so we're probably good in that light. Plus, this will probably make Mr. Guilt a little bit happier with us. At least he seems to be strong enough that we're not super worried about him getting cut down. Or his faction being destroyed, you know what I mean. Anyway, let's do a little building, though we've spent a lot of money, so we don't have a lot of it available to us. Okay, we're, again, skipping Marienburg because it's too expensive, but Dreckwald... It is another territory that is slated to be a military power, or economic powerhouse. So we'll do the lumberyard here and the tailor's guild here. Well, funnily enough, the tier 2 tailor's guild is probably not as worth it by comparison to the, or the tier 3 tailor's guild is probably not as worth it by comparison to the tier 2 tailor's guild. So maybe we should try to upgrade as many tier 2 tailor guilds as possible. And go for the tier 3s when we're ready. And kind of the same thing for the various towns in the various places. Oh, but this place shouldn't be upgraded until we switch out of the Deplaganation. Alright, Old North Road. You are looking good to me. Wissenberg, we should probably upgrade Dotternbach then. And that's all the money we got, isn't it? Well, if it's all the money we got, it's all the money we got. That's fine. All right, skip. A few more turns to build up our economy are going to be, once again, very nice, because it'll allow us to build those new armies we're slated to build and, you know, keep buffing up our current armies. We've got... Ooh. All right, we can waste the turn. The bordermen are ready, so we got to recruit them next turn, which is fine. We'll do it next turn. Oh, hello. Looks like Silostra Dirfan is ready to declare war on us. Now, this has some issues to it. The main one being that anti-player bias may see them go down the coast of Kuhan and try to attack us here at Fort Solace or Seathil or Arnau, rather than continue fighting the Bretonnians. I guess we're going to have to see about that. We're not going to call our allies to help because, once again, I really don't trust factions not to break their agreements, but, well, I don't mind fighting some vampire coasts, so, yeah.
My knowledge increases.
All right, what do we have here? Westerland has come under attack by the Skaven. We are going to hire nearby mercenaries with money rather than prestige for this. So, yes, and then we'll auto resolve this because, yeah, it's 3 stacks. They have no chance. Free money at least. Alrighty, and I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a decent Skaven army, but we outnumber them by so much that it's, yeah. Take the money. Alright, and we needed that money to get those bordermen up and running anyway, so that works out well for us. Free scribe for Vasily Thorpes. Vasily? Sounds like a Kislevite name to me. Is that this guy? Yes, it is. All right. Well, I don't mind the scribe on you, though it would probably be better on a lord due to the movement range and all that. Anyway, new turn, but before we start, we got a little bit of housekeeping to talk about. First of all, engagement threshold, blah, 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 blah. Yes, we've reached it, and this is going to be a longer episode, and the engagement threshold remains 500 likes and 70 comments in terms of the next episode, plus banking some episodes down the line. More importantly, this is Saturday. The time I have off work means that we did the streak, and I will do a double episode today. So later today, you'll see another one posted. Finally, since Thorgrim's epic campaign has at last reached its conclusion, we will be voting for the next campaign that will follow Karl's, or the next 2 campaigns. So head on over to the community/posts tab and do make your voices heard. Anyway, now let's get started. Karl, you are not able to reach Rosefells this turn, but that's hardly surprising. I would like to do 2 things. First of all, we will... one more turn until the Dreckwald Riders. Okay, we gotta get those guys up and running as well. Good. I don't know how many turns until we get the Imperial Foot, but I'd rather save the money right now until they go 2 out of 2. Alright, I'm a little bit... Okay, here's what we can do. You go to Karl. What can we take from him? I mean, we do get a decent bit of use out of the Wardens of the West, I admit, but they also don't super fit into this army right now. Well, I want to replace them with Noble Sons Abroad so that we have some sort of like nobility / knights in training with Karl's army, as well as at the end of the day, there's probably political favors and all, even within his army. He's an emperor, and it's not just, you know, fighting that he has to concern himself with, which I think will make sense. Anyway, let's get 1 unit of Bordermen up and running now. I just want 2 for Karl to have some kind of range unit, since he's not going to have the handgunners in it, and to more easily be able to wipe out blobs of units while the knights fight. It should be sufficient with just the 2. Let's do that, and then hopefully that didn't cripple your movement range. How far can you go? Okay, you should be able to reach Rosefell's next turn. And no. I mean, you will declare war, yes, but but next turn, not this turn. All right, you're gonna get here, and then I guess you're gonna keep following. It's not like these guys are Skaven, so you're gonna suffer attrition here as well. Okay, well, just keep going. All good. All right, what do we have here? And we should probably be able to fight this. At least I hope we are, because we're gonna. You have Pistol Corps and Emperor's Finest. Let's get you hold the line and see whether the piles of halberdiers can hold the enemy off. In fact, let's probably do so right now. All right. You, currently at war with Festus and with Ostland. Well, we're not going to ask Festus for anything, so we'll join the war against the Fecundates from Ostland and, give us a solid 2.3k. I like it. I like it a lot. Pros offer. Now, this is not currently part of our own provinces, so we will give it up to Ostland. What? Who did I just declare war against? Oh, I declared war against Festus. Well, I'm stupid. My bad. The ever-living will join this war as well. Hopefully Festus's main stack doesn't then come down this way while our other armies are busy. This is what happens when I get excited. Anyway, hey, we're up to 10k. Good. Probably not for long, but we'll just gotta keep that economy flowing and growing. And go to Salkalten. And I just want to see, does this have a military or a defensive structure? It does not. All right, so we're good. All right, let's get to fighting. I think it'll be a good fight despite what this says, because we have no mage, we have no heroes to buff everybody up, and Graveguard tend to be stronger than basic Imperial infantry. Though, the halberdiers are a really good choice against the vampires because the enemy doesn't have any range units to punish them for their lack of armor and shielding, and their armor piercing means that they will be able to get through that thick armor of the Graveguard, even if they probably can't fight on a level with the Graveguard with great weapons and all that. Still, go. Alrighty, here we go. Not one of our real armies, just a smattering of troops gained from the Confederation, but it should come in handy in this sort of early portion of Nordland's rebuilding. We're going to start the battle off with the Vanguard deployed units, the 4 units of Huntsmen and the 2 units of Pistoliers, annoying the enemy. The Huntsmen to try to just dish out some damage, while all the Halberdiers move into position. We have a pretty good piece of terrain here. We will block off this choke point and then protect our flanks from the enemy with those halberds, and see if we can get the enemy to blob up nicely for us to make good use of that Nordland Runefang area of effectability and in terms of direct damage. Otherwise, Pistoliers are working on that unit of Black Knights with the lances and barding, and ooh, I like this color scheme. I really like this color scheme. Again, the color coordination with the Balefire is working for me. But anyway, they're going to attempt to chase down the Pistoliers. And let's see the speed. They're going to be slow enough that we should suffer no significant losses other than the occasional unit, and that gets caught. It will, however, take a long time to kill them off. They have armor and they have shielding. The Pistoliers don't do a crazy amount of damage, but enough to, over time, annoy them, and I've already gotten them down by about 20% of their HP. The crossbows, the Halberdiers have arrived. Now the Halberdiers are blocking off the Graveguard and the zombies who are attempting to make their way up the hill, while the arrows from the Huntsmen and the crossbows fall upon them. Again, really liking this color scheme. Alrighty, but here come the flyers. The bats are going to start the day dropping down upon our crossbows in several locations. We got another one and a third one moving in. The Vargeists have also been flying around, but one of our Pistolier units has been annoying them in the same way that the other has been annoying the Black Knights. Fortunately, we have kept 3 of our Halberdiers back to deal with the enemy flyers, obviously knowing that they would come for us. And the halberds should be able to deal with the fragile bats reasonably quickly here. Alright, and then our units should be able to get back into firing. Time to activate that Nordland Runefang, unless we already have. And ooh, the enemy vampire. The only enemy vampire on the battlefield will be destroyed by the Lord. There we go, though it's kind of hard to see. While the necromancers are going to be our next targets, our huntsmen should be able to fire upon them while we move more halberdiers in to defend the choke point. And it looks like they don't have horses, they're just infantry necros, and thus the huntsmen should have no problem at killing them off and are doing a fair bit of damage to the unarmored, slow-moving necromancers. And beautiful. Otherwise, the Vargeists and the bats have been deleted and defeated, or the other way around. And now it's just a matter of time of holding off the last of the enemy units. I believe the enemy knights are also in pretty bad shape, while the pistoliers are still relatively close to full HP. The first necromancer, the Lord, has fallen. The second one is melting away. Crossbow and huntsman bolts continue to rain down on the zombie hordes below. Part of our army and part of theirs in light and part in shadow. Kind of like that. Is the moon maybe lighting up the what we've got here? If it's an actual object that provides light, I'm not entirely sure how the skybox works in this particular game. But anyway, let's see what we've got. Now that the enemies are all blobbed up or all being held back by our halberdiers, we can move around our range, our crossbows, to fire into the back and flanks of the enemy graveguard, especially the graveguard with great weapons. We're going to need it unless they tear through our halberdiers. And there we go, that should certainly help. The huntsmen are firing down on the main blob below. And of course the huntsmen have sort of equivalent damage to the crossbows, but they have less armor piercing, so it's better to allow them to fire on the skeleton warriors and spears and the zombies, while the crossbows' higher armor piercing fires on the graveguard instead. And of course we got additional armor piercing from our halberds here. And the same situation is repeating itself over on the left flank as well. Halberds and spears are holding, or just halberds, I guess, unlike Gavin's army. Halberds are holding, hitting the enemy in place, allowing our units of pistoliers and crossbows to fire into the backs of those undead. Lovely. We're going to be having to fight a fair few undead over the course of the next few episodes, so we might as well get started on it here. Alright, it looks like the enemy army is beginning to melt away. The bounce power shift's fully in our favor, and now just a matter of time. Our Lord fought in the center of the enemy formation the entire time, but certainly managed to rack up a lot of kills between his ability or Runefang activation and the, I guess, splash damage he was able to deal with his greatsword. Lovely. Couple units remaining on the left flank. The zombies, of course, tar-pitting our units of halberdiers, but they're melting away faster than they'd like, I'm sure. And a unit of skeleton spears tried to give chase to one of our crossbows that was firing into the flanks and rear of the enemy here, but the 2 units of pistoliers moved in to help out. 14k damage and 7k damage on you, pretty good. I assume the 7k damage one was the one that was riding away from the enemy Black Knights, and again had to deal with all of their armor and shielding. But anyway, with that, the battle is ours. Apparently a close victory, but solely, I think, and due to ammunition expenditure, as we were able to hold the entire mass of enemies back in essentially 3 locations without having to worry about them looping around and attacking our fragile crossbows and huntsmen. And good terrain for us, considering we got screwed by the terrain last episode. This worked quite well. All right, there we go. Very nice. I guess this, though the Ever-Loving will be immediately knocked out, this effectively marks the beginning of the 4th Vampire Wars. And would you look at that, 50,000 damage and 276 kills on Mr. Theodric Gosser. I suppose the Crowfeeder must be one of the best rune fangs that we have available due to that direct damage ability that it has, which is particularly strong against blobs of enemies like this. About 14,000 damage on the various crossbows, and about 16 to 17, 19,000 damage on the Huntsmen, which makes sense considering the Huntsmen were firing for significantly longer than the crossbows were, as they started Vanguard deployed and the crossbows did not. Still, good thing that they're, keeping pace with them, effectively. Obviously, we did great work with the Pistoliers. One kept those Knights with lances and barding out of the picture, and the other one sort of distracted those Vargheists long enough for them to do a little. And great job to all the halberds as well, as always. Anyway, we will return this to the Elector. Alright, and they're probably gonna let the Pearl Plague run rampant in their territory, but what can you do? Alright, so we no longer see Festus's army. The annoying aspect of that is the fact that I would like to move you down here towards Verlongen, but I know that you probably wouldn't be able to defeat Festus's force. Well, what can you do? You can start channeling and sort of slowly moving down there. If we can avoid having to take it with Karl, that would be ideal, but we probably want to get Karl Festus's defeat trait, so that hasn't changed. Anyway, that's you guys, Dolph Hertwigens. You could now grab Eldogson if you want, or we'll just wait the turn and have you do it next turn. I think it's probably the better use of your time. We will then head you down to Clan Creepus. I assume that there's nobody at Gruiden. Actually, you know what? We can make a count here, I think. Oh. Creepus is at Mordheim. Oh, -1 corruption, all provinces, +4 melee attack faction might. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Well, that doesn't change the fact that we have to make a count. We have 6 territories belonging to them, so I assume that they're at Lokrafurt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I assume Castle Tempelhof is not full of Skaven. Kind of weird that they haven't retaken Castle Tempelhof then, but I guess they got destroyed by the Changeling, who we're still going to have to deal with at some point. Anyway, so that means this is just free territory, which means I'll just tell you to occupy it. Huh. Actually, it must be full of Skaven, because this target is not a shared enemy. Oh, wow, you can, I guess, cheat and find... Ah, so there's no Skaven here. Well, that's kind of funny. I guess there's another way to do it, and it's just to check the Skaven corruption to see if it's rising. Wow, actually, no, not that way. Never mind. Alrighty, well, Dolph, I guess you're gonna head to Gruiden, and then we'll knock out the Skaven there. And then Wulfric Adgiga, you can follow, like so. Alright, Elspeth, you're about to fight for that Nemesis Crown dig site, and ooh, you're so close to being able to approach. Also, I don't remember who was going to get this Empire Captain. Might not be a bad idea to put him in your army. Let me just double check here. So you are a drill sergeant. Well, stand your ground if the melee infantry get hit isn't too bad. The only thing about this is that this guy doesn't have a pistol with him, unfortunately, and I feel like that entire army should have range capabilities. You currently have a champion. You could probably actually use a drill sergeant as well as a champion. One to stay on horse to lead the knights. Well, actually, no, it's probably the Grandmaster. But nonetheless, this is going to be a very melee-heavy army, so maybe that's the better way to do it. You already have... Oh, yeah, and we'll need an engineer in here. Yeah, you know what, so we'll give the champion, or we'll give the drill sergeant to those guys instead. The Northern Mariners to you, and then these Pistoliers we can make into Empire Knights and then transfer them over to Gavin as well. And get the Drakewald Riders in next turn. Oh, we can also, I guess also next turn, get the Northern Mariners. I guess, well, if these guys are already named, what we'll do is we'll transfer them back, and then we'll make a new army. A new Nordlander army. Which also makes sense to me. Anyway, Jürgen, you... he's never gonna catch up to Karl. This happened in Thorgrim's campaign too, where I was trying to deliver a runesmith, unless I'm mistaken, rather, to Lord, and it took just absolute ages. Anyway, we probably don't want to bother with Oh, wait. There's nobody at Horno, meaning, yeah, we can go past it with Gavin. Alright, you know what? Head directly into Asino to save a little bit of money, and then hit Krugenheim instead. And hopefully, if we can knock out these guys' main stack, we can have Talabekland starting to retake some territory. And then developing it while we're, you know, busy with our own. Elspeth, it's time, or almost time. Let's move Volkmar's scout southward. He has to travel here. Go out to sea. Travel through the Sour Sea and then get to Volkmar. And just hope that he's not dead. Alright. It's a really long time to get to him, doesn't it? Alright, Schwarzhelm, go. And we'll give Schwarzhelm a Runefang on loan. I think... Well, that's going to be a question as to which Runefangs. I'll think about it. I feel like the Reikland Runefang should maybe go to Kurt Helborg, but, you know, we'll see. Anyway, Evan Immelshielder, you are definitely going to be needed with the Halberdiers in Gavin's army. Like so. Oh, we also got to remember that we have a legendary Halberdier unit in the Altdorf Company of Honor to eventually build. And then I believe that's good. Alright, Elspeth, head to... If I can actually click on the thing. Ooh, you can level. And then we can click on the thing. Machinist preparations. Basic ammunition gains increased range armor-piercing missile damage and a short-range explosive damage ammunition switch. Lovely for you, sir. Alright, go. Okay, ooh, I was thinking that it might crash, and I was very concerned there for a second. Anyway, Elspeth now has regeneration, so she's going to hold the Frostfire gem, and we'll put the Burning Head on Mr. Nicholas Becker here. Everwood Root will go on whichever champion we end up using in Elspeth's army, because I still think Bruckner will go to a different army, because Elspeth won't have enough Demigriffs to take advantage of it. Anyway, it's an ambush and it's in our favor. Battle result is surprisingly Pyrrhic, but probably because we effectively have no melee troops. Go. Alrighty, here we go. This little gobbo may be carrying the Nemesis crown, but I guess that doesn't make him any smarter in terms of not getting ambushed like this. We have a pretty good position as we start the battle off up on a hill, allowing our Nuln Ironsides and our handgunners to fire on the enemy. Elspeth will move in, immediately casting a Trickster Shard to debuff the enemy's spell resistance, if they have any. Casting a Purple Son of Zareus at the front of the column, following it up with some rocket battery fire, and then of course the Spirit Leech on the enemy lord, who is already down to like 20% or 30%, whatever, of his HP, and is probably not going to enjoy a good old laser blast from the Carmine Dragon, which obliterates him instantly. There we go. The front of the enemy column is completely collapsed, but the rear of the enemy column, unlike the range units and artillery that might normally be there, has also plenty of cavalry, squig herds, squig hoppers, some wolf chariots, etc., etc. That said, that's a lot of gunfire and that they're going to have to deal with as the combination of Free Company handgunners and war wagons tear through them, and Elspeth menacingly hovers overhead as well. Over at the rear of the column, the enemy had some of those rock lobbers, but our knights make their way through the forest to charge into the flanks and overrun those poor goblin artillery crews. Now there we go. Clinching the battle in our favor. Beautiful. That was very quick, but it is an ambush battle, and ambush battles do tend to be extremely quick pretty much at all times, so it does make sense. I don't remember, but I'm gonna say I'm 70% sure that armies defeated in little quest battles like this, just based on other factions, will actually survive and live to fight another day. So we're going to do our best to chase the enemy down as best. Oh, artillery! Come on, man! Chase them down as best we can. Man, these Free Company militia and Elspeth's army are going to be high ranked by the time that. We swap them into another army. I wonder if we can pop them into another nearby army. I'm going to have to think on that one. Anyway, most of the enemy should be destroyed. We'll probably have about, I don't know, maybe a third of the enemy remaining, a quarter. We'll see how many escaped. Alright, there we go. No problem at all. Of course, an ambush battle is so dang much in our favor that I really didn't expect the enemy to be able to do anything there. Well done, Elspeth, as always. A solid bit of damage between the Purple Son of Zoreus, Spirit Leech, and the Fate of Biuna, and the Knights, especially the Knights of the Black Rose, did a lot of damage as well. We're going to take the money because we barely took any damage.
War is cruel.
And does that army survive? Oh, don't tell me you're gonna... Okay, wait a second. Okay, we're obviously going to seal the crown. It's nice to have the crown, but the diplomatic relations negative with all factions is A, not worth it, and B, doesn't feel appropriate for a faction led by Karl not to seal it. But anyway, the timeless, blackened power of the Nemesis crown now rests in your hands, awaiting a choice that may impact the course of destiny and the fate of the entire world. You could seal the crown away so that its evil may never threaten the world again, but of course, such power is always begging to be exercised. So, for 10 turns, we get replenishment in foreign territory, which is nice in and of itself, as well as the bonus casualty replenishment, and a decent bit of cash. So, yes, seal the crown. Until it returns, at any rate. And Elspeth, you are not able to chase down the remnants of this army, which can... Well, let's just hope that it can't reach Delbert's. Go here. Alright, again, you're distracting Elspeth from her duty in Sylvania, so we're going to have to deal with it. Oh! That's interesting. That counted as completing the mission for Sigmar's time. I wasn't expecting that. Free Spotter's Spyglass, which admittedly I don't really care for, but we'll probably turn it into something a little bit more useful. Torn from the cold dead hands of its previous bearer, Elspeth von Draken of her... Huh? Previous bearer? Cold dead hands? Elspeth von Draken? Not so sure, but anyway, proclaimed too dangerous to ever be put to use, it has been cast away instead, sealed beneath countless protections so that its wickedness may never reappear. Not something I'd say never about, but anyway, there we go. Well, looks good to me. Now, we got one turn until the Drakewald Riders? Yes, one turn, so we will put that to use shortly. For now, we got buildings to be building. Alright, okay, we're ignoring a Mason. Delbert's alright, we need Eldogson, so not until next turn, but I think we're free to repair this at least now. And... start building the paved roads now, because I'm not sure the 10% is worth waiting on. A passive stone, we will eventually want to upgrade you, and I guess we'll want to make it cheaper, so cancel the Burgomeisters yourself up. Vorberg work. Yes to the Herb Gatherer's Camp, yes to the Weaving House, yes to the 4,000. Is the yellow territory? Oh, it is. Okay, so maybe hold off on that aspect of the investment. Taproom is also quite expensive. You know what? Hold off on that as well. We'll probably build it, but in a bit. Start prioritizing the green territories rather than the red, or yellow rather. Town here, yes. We will need a taproom here, so I think we've no choice in the matter. We can collect the income, but at -7, which will admittedly fix itself once the taproom is up and running. Alright, you know what, do this and then switch to Coast Festag. There you go. Alright, Glimdwaro, yes. You can build your stuff, namely the paved roads, the super expensive taproom. Oh, okay, you know what, we'll wait on the rest of it. Build a weaving house. We'll need a little bit more money to invest in that taproom. I think it's not yet worth it. We will want to upgrade Zutzen here first, maybe? I was going to say Wiedebach for the paved road and the adjacency bonus, but we've got iron here. And that's more trade. Start with Zutzen, I think. Yeah. Alrighty, and then keep building those level 2 clothiers, and then here, I guess we will build a taproom. Alright, because we'll want the place to start collecting in money right now. Alrighty. Need all the extra cash we can get. That has not changed and will be a long time until it does. Yes to the port here at Tumble Downs, and immediately then switch back. No, we'll wait until we can upgrade the foundry here for the engineers. And that's all the money we got. Alright, diplomacy check, then end the turn. Gisero, Wargrove of Woe, and nobody wants anything interesting. Hunts Marshal want to be even more friendly, and Sigmar's Heim does as well. Well, it's not like we're going to declare war on them, so yeah, fine. Hunts Marshal, sure.
But be wary.
I don't know if this is going to help him in any way. Huh. 48. It's not bad. I wonder if we could confederate him the old-fashioned way, if we could just get a little bit additional diplomatic relations with other Empire factions. Gonna have to keep an eye on him. It would be nice to not have to go through the Elector count way. Sigmar's Heim. Yes, we'll take your money for the military axis. Might allow us to build another weaving house. Golden Order, same position. Get friendlier with you. What else do we have here? Kirk Norn, Gisoro. Okay, the rest of this can be ignored. Bordello Errant, yes to the Defensive Alliance for... Ooh, actually. Western Provinces. That's the most important one. Yes to the Defensive Alliance. As many Cathian allies as possible. Oh, war drums and... balloons. Let's see. And I do mean both of the kinds of Sky Lanterns and the Sky Junks. Bordello Errant. Yes to the Defensive Alliance as well with you. Oh, this will put us... This will give us a vision of the Broken Axe, which will most likely eventually move to attack Helmgart. But I assume it'll be able to defend itself, so yes. More allies is good. I like so. And, I don't know how much money you'd give us for the military alliance. 2.6k, eh? I mean, you're already at war with these guys, so this... What's the likelihood that you draw us into another war with this? It exists, but it's not major, so I think we'll do the military alliance straight up with Bordello Errant. At least I don't think they're going to attack any of our allies. Or anybody that we care enough about wanting to attack. Alright, that gave us a nice 6k, meaning more money investment. Alrighty. And now, where were we in terms of building? Oh, right, we do want to upgrade Tom to tier 4. How close are we to tier 4 at the South Bank? Okay, 3 turns. Getting there. Not quite there yet, but getting there. Are now. Definitely Imperial Harbor, definitely Die Maker, and definitely at least the base variant of the Weaving House. Yes, technically this place should be walled up, but I will think about it. It might be better to just park a basic Imperial State Troop army there and forget about it for a while. Yeah. Alright, other buildings to be builded, but we don't really have money unless there's another place where we can do a weaving house. You have this for the growth, but frankly, we're probably better if we're going to collect income here to make use of said income collection, and thus the weaving house. Alright, I think that's all for the money. Alright, skip buildings, and let's end the turn and try to hunt down Festus. Wait. One other thing to check. I want to double check Battle Wizard. Oh, right, we didn't build the thing. What about Warrior Priest? Yeah, we'll need to build another one of these. Alright, we'll need a little bit of capacities soon. Alright, they're just going to destroy themselves, which is good, because we don't have to waste time then trying to chase them down.
They consume our supplies. Get rid of them.
My genius is
Alright, Winds of Pain. Yes, okay, that'll help Elspeth recover her magics as she's on the way to Sylvania. Fealty of all electric cannons +1. Good, even though we were getting up there in prestige. I gotta get it. Oh, let's give this a read. There are a few ways to attain political standing than getting the common man on your side. A few better ways. One possible way of doing this is a grand tour of the states, in which you schedule a cavalcade to travel from capital to capital, where you will address the masses on any and all matters that might concern them. Needless to say, organizing such a tour would involve calling in a lot of favors and pulling a lot of strings to achieve. Range tour. Lovely. Alright, ally mobilizes, ally begins construction. Ah! Well, that was always going to happen, but it's still annoying that it did. And, ow, Festus is moving this way. Darn. Alright, Coral. We killed Demahar. I guess we could start moving this way. Maybe... Alright, you... Alright, are going to move this way then.
to strengthen the empire.
Karl is going to go after Demahar. You already have a plague, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, we can use Waldemar to leech as well. You go here. In regular stance, maybe. Karl, kill. Wow, look at that. All of our movement to go through these darn forests. What can you do? And obviously this is a waste of our time, so I'll resolve it. Hopefully it doesn't do a crazy amount of damage to us. Well, more than I'd like. Take the money. Alright, then, Karl, you need to move towards Festus, so just take the fastest, most expedient path to get to him. You will stay here, in friendly territory, I guess, and then you will back off towards Theodoric. Like so. Alright, then... Okay. Enemy killed in battle, yes, faction destroyed. The Mad Howl is great, to ready for duty, Empire Captain. Oh, right, the guy that we deleted and is now back. You were the Meridia's Blessing guy? Out of curiosity. We have another Drill Sergeant and another Meridia's Blessing. We can get these guys up and running at rank 6, and, well, admittedly, you're also rank 6. Will we need some of these guys? What does this do again? mean, honestly, it's not a great trait, so until we get the Knights of the Blazing Sun, this is not probably worth our time. So maybe we just delete you, or we have you sort of... Yeah, you know what? Let's have you riding around with Gossa until we're ready to transfer you to the Myrmidia army. South Bank, an unusual location. What do we have here? Oh, in the South Bank, too. All right, come on, be a money location. Ranger outpost. Hidden armies will be visible in region irrelevant to us. Campaign movement range. I mean, free control, I guess. Too bad it's not the money-making one. Snipe and Vanguard deployment. Forest Cloak. Okay, this will come in handy for a lord. Hey, the Royal Altdorf Griffites are up and running. And yes, I know that we have a bunch of regiments of Renown up and running. We'll get them up and running later, as in have them actually do stuff. They're just very expensive, and there isn't a need for them as yet, nor are the themed armies in which they will be going into available yet. You're gonna occupy Eldogsen for us, not for Boris colonize, which will complete this province. And you're gonna immediately go into Council of Burgomeisters, and -5 is not so bad, so I think we can collect the money and we can also immediately build up this hamlet. There we go. Alright, province secured. Next up, you guys. Alright, so what we want to do here is this. 2, 3.
Work to do.
Who's going to deliver what, I guess is the question. Alright, you know what? We can do this. You are going to grab these 4 named Free Company Militia. They're going to be part of a northerly army, so you're going to go up that way. You are going to grab the 2 units of Nordland Mariners. Not the Empire Captain. Like so, which puts you to 17 out of 20.
Let me take
We need to be in our own territory to get the other Nordland Mariner up and running, but, well, we can get down here. You're going to go after the Skaven first, so go to Groyden, and hopefully you don't get ambushed. You'll just have to deal with having 17 troops for now. You are going to deliver all of these troops minus the mortars to... Oh, that's kind of annoying. I was going to put the mortars in the grenade army, but... well, I guess we could still, in theory, do that. Alright, you know what? You're going to take this. No, I think we're going to just delete that mortar. It's not needed. You're going to go north. Actually, stay together with this guy in case Skaven attack you. You can delete the mortar. We can rebuild it. We have the technology. While the rest of this, you're going to head out to sea. Or river. First Fleet wishes it was sea, but anyway, you can then move down to Gavin. Gavin, you are going to keep going after those Skaven. Go right to the edge of this territory. You're not immune to attrition. Hopefully we can reach Krugenheim in a single bound, but I guess we're going to have to see. You're going to channel in the meantime as well. Good. All right, everybody's moving. Things are happening. Jürgen, please. And, oh, of course, now Karl has to move away from this place. Ah, yes, Karlbergs. They just want to kill things.
Shaiish blows me thither.
Worthy of their own legend. Alright, Elspeth. I think these guys can handle the Skaven, or at least I hope that they can. I think you're going to set sail down the river, and that'll allow you to... March stance. Go into Kutenholz. Sail down the river. And then you can reach the vampire counts there. Will be a little bit until we can upgrade you to iron sides, though funnily enough, since we're going down this way, we could just stop at Nuln and build the iron sides, if we wanted to. I'll think about it. Anyway, Vintner, please. Good. Anybody else? We still have Volkmar's scout to move, and Ludwig Schwarzhelm, you can keep moving down there. Schwarzhelm, you can approach Karl. Though I do still find the idea of Karl needing a bodyguard kind of amusing. Obviously he doesn't need one, but, well... He often sends Ludwig to places, so that's fine. Anyway, he does need a standard bearer, and he acts as that as well. Oh, I wonder if we can give him, like, a... I know, wait. If we make room, we can get Karl the Griffin banner and maybe put that on him, just to make him, like, a standard carrier. Although, really, any banner would work. Certainly something to think about. Anyway, we've got diplomacy and then building and then ending the turn. Let's see what we got here. No trade. Nobody new or interesting. Darklands Bandits. Who are you at war with again? House of Korak and Clan Gouger. We are at war with... We're not at war with House of Korak. Out of curiosity, when did we peace out with you?
Vargas,
1 turn. Okay, next turn we'll be able to declare war on you. Good. And we can go defensive alliance with... Ooh, oh, everybody wants to be defensive. Yes to the Hunts Marshal's expedition. I want to see what's going on over there, and I want to take a little bit more of their money, and we can maybe borrow one of their armies later on to make them weaker in order to confederate them. Don't go for the military alliance, however. Alright, that's them. Urson Revivalists. I don't want Vision of the Norskins right now, even though I do want to ally with you. But until our Nordland army is ready to deal with the Norskins on the coast, I think we're better off not getting an alliance with you. Yes to the defensive alliance with Gelt, however. Just to be friendlier. As friendly as we possibly can. Because once again, it's going to be a while until we can confederate him the non-old-fashioned way. But maybe we'll be able to do that. And then, yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't want a defensive alliance with Sigmar's time. Would be nice to trade with them. If we attack Mousillon, we can. Let's do that. And just gotta make sure that the forts that we're using are up and running. Oh, wow. Okay, Sigmar's time. You are not having a good time. Red Duke may be out, but you're about to lose Sigmar's time itself. I wonder if Lewin's going to come down here or whether he'll keep dealing with the Vampire Coast. I guess we'll find out. But anyway, Defensive Alliance. Oh, we didn't have Vision of Kuhan before? Yes, we did. I just didn't notice that he wanted an alliance. Okay, well, we do want an alliance with you. There we go. Plus, this will also give us Vision of the Vampire Coast and what the heck is going on down here. Silostra. Now, that's a question. Are you going to keep trying to deal with Kuhan, or are you going to bypass it and head down here to our undefended territories? Might need to speed up making an army here. That might be a job for Mr. Waldemar, who is going to get one of our next armies. He's a marksman commander. Or, wait, are we able to build land ships? Out of the non-gunnery school, we are building steam tanks. Land ships are out of the tier 4 of the engineer's workshop, unfortunately. Alright. Well, we have several armies which will warrant some land ships. I was just thinking that that it's time to get one of our community cannon lords up and running, Mr. Land Admiral Sintle, but it'll be a bit, although I do want to check on the Master Engineers. Okay, well, we don't have the one with the trait for him anyway, so it's not a concern as yet. Alright, let's do buildings and try to keep an eye on Silostra in case she moves on in. Alright, Venland we can ignore. Passive Stone we will want to upgrade, but it isn't critical right now. Your yellow territory, but we will want to upgrade the exotic hothouse for the additional medicinal herbs. Clothier is tier 2, only if we build the tap room. I mean, it'll take a while for it to pay for itself, but maybe it is worth it. Alright, fine. Let's do that and collect the income. Glimdwaro, you are about to do the same kind of situation. Yeah, fine, let's do the tap room. These places will also all most likely become military territories, but yeah, I don't want to bother upgrading these to tier 3 though, because it's expensive, and I guess if we upgrade you to tier 3... Oh, maybe this place. Yeah, maybe not worth it right now, so host Festag. Alright, so you two are good. Tumbledowns, Fort Solace. I did really want to upgrade this, so even though it's expensive, I think we're going to do it right now, and then go back to host Festag. That will give us engineer capabilities or availability. Next turn, Dukelberg, I want you to get the basic weaving house, since we're collecting money here. And we got 2 more turns until the tall walls are up and running, and Ulrika is ready to go. We'll wait for Gotrek and Felix for the next confederation, because I want to make use of the casualty or punishment thing. But we are on the way, so as the Confederation debuff is gone. Alright, and I believe that's it. There was not a battle to be fought this turn. Let's see if Festus attempts to move after Karl. Let's hope that he does. Is he at war with these guys? He is, so he might also try to sack or do something to Salkalten, but we'll see right now. Skip, and turn. Looks like Festus will not be a coward and likely wants to take advantage of the fact that our army is damaged and plagueinated going into it. Well, good job to you, sir. Let's see how you handle a Galmaraz to the face. Go. All right, here we go to Armsmen. Nothing else to say. Just gonna head towards Festus and his Fecundites. I will say that we have a pretty solid chance of doing this without taking too much damage, but we do still have to be very careful of at least a few of the enemy units and of allowing Festus to get a good mileage out of his Harbinger of Pestilence or his healing elixirs. Karl attempts to move towards Festus, but unfortunately Festus slows him down massively with that Curse of the Slug, bringing him down to a mere 14 move speed, which, when you're floating up in the air, is admittedly not a lot. Gonna pop off of Gehenna's Golden Hands. No enemy range units to annoy this time around, but there are Chaos Warriors, which we will take about half of their HP doing so. Though I do wonder whether we were probably better off firing at the... spelling the... probably Plague Bears, any of the demonic units, really. Because we don't have a lot of magical damage on our range. Speaking of our range, our newly summoned officers squad, which with their capes will actually look nice with the bordermen that we're keeping in this army. Again, Karl likes to have the Elector state troops, so it makes sense to have at least some. And if we can get those noble sons abroad by confederating Averland, and we'll definitely want to do so. Anyway, we are positioned up on a pretty nice hill, and they're still waiting for the enemy to move towards us. Theodore Bruckner, probably one of the last battles that he has in Karl's army before swapping out to a different one, is shadowing the enemy exalted hero of Nurgle, and will defend the line wheresoever he may attempt to hit us. The Zintler's Reiksguard and the regular ones are going after the Hounds of Decay so that they don't get around us, but we do have our 4 units of halberds in the back, should it be necessary. Karl has landed and attacking Festus, though he did take a bit of damage to something. Well, I'm not sure what, but I guess I'm sure he'll be fine. I mean, it's Festus. Trolls head towards us, but get gunned down and take severe damage even as they charge on in. Bruckner is now engaged in a duel against the exalted hero of Nurgle here. A Rot Knight versus a Demigryph Knight, pretty solid. And champions at that. Let's see how they're doing. Well, the Exalted Hero is still pretty okay. Samuel Ludenhoff looks like a corrupted Imperial Exalted Hero, or a corrupted Imperial Hero. Which, you know, a lot. There's a lot of chaos that are that. Not merely Norskins, or just Norskins. Anyway, the enemy army has arrived. The giant is moving on in, but is pretty severely damaged, and Festus is also the same. A couple more hits from Karl will most likely bring him down. Karl did lose about 30% of his HP, but I think that was from various effects rather than dueling Festus. Though it took a little bit longer to deal with him than I thought. Festus does have a little bit of a weird hitbox when being fought by a bigger mounted lord like Karl. But anyway, the giant is booking it on out of there, but it will not escape. Festus can heal it no longer, and it will drop by handgun blasts to the back. The Chaos Warriors, together with those Plague Bearers, are still in the fight, and we're going to hold them off with a combination of the Imperial Foot and our Summoned Officer Squad, which again, I'm really liking the color scheme of the combination of the Officer Squad with the Bordermen. I'm going to have to remember this. Maybe take a little bit more of advantage of it and put a few of those guys in another army where we have other bordermen. Because we will want to put them, well, definitely in the Grenade Army, for example, and a few officers' squads could probably help there, as it would be an army that wouldn't have significant amounts of melee, as in basically none. Anyway, the battle is very nearly ours. The reinforcements have arrived and crashed into our right flank, doing a little bit of damage to the Reiter Guard here, and we're just going to have to do our best to hold them off. A volley from our bordermen, unfortunately, does a massive amount of damage to our own halberds. It's one of the big dangers of well, having the halberds in Karl's army and the bordermen as well. Whereas while the grenades would do decent damage to our Imperial Foot, they are heavily armored and resistant enough to not lose like their entire pile of troops to it. But anyway, I do love the sort of theme coordination of the Imperial troops. A lot of them just look like they belong together in terms of the color schemes and the outfit coordination, like we see here with the Reiksguard and the Halberdiers, and the Soulfire, just to add it on top of that. which is appropriate for it, well, being in the same faction. But anyway, with that last charge from the Reiksguard, it looks like the Marauders of Nurgle are going to shatter. The last of the enemy lords will shatter, giving us one last parting slowdown of the curse of the slug on Karl, but it'll end, and he should be able to bring that lord down in a couple of hits. There we go. One hit takes about 60% of his HP. And then Deathclaw will trample him and kill off the second lord in the same way that we did Festus. Lovely. Definitely worth it to have hunted him down, as I don't remember exactly what his defeat trait does other than casualty or punishment, but casualty or punishment alone is always worth it. Alrighty, there we go. Went pretty darn well. Frankly, we did a fair bit of damage to ourselves using the Borderman. That has a tendency to happen, but otherwise, went pretty well. Took a long time to deal with Festus, though the Curse of the Slug was a major annoyance, and perhaps not surprising there. The Giant wasn't able to do too much due to being gunned down, plus the debuffs from the Gold Wizard and Final Transmutation. All worked out pretty well. Damage-wise, let's see. At 18k, the Order of the Reich did very well, perhaps due to the Razor Standard increasing their damage, and the Teutoburger Garde for the Great Swords. Very nice. And one of the rare situations where the Kaiserliche Reitergarde beat out the Zinthers Reichsguard, though I guess there wasn't as much anti-large enemies for the Zinthler's guys to fight as opposed to smaller entities. So perhaps it does make sense regarding bonuses at the very least. Anyway, we're going to take the money. Alright, Supervisor for Dolfgood, defeated Festus, casualty replenishment rate, and vigor loss reduction, both of which are very high value. We should probably go after this guy. Were you? Yeah, you can just handle Rosfels, so kill off Fator, Mr. Karl. And, ooh, actually, I want to check something. Go here, into our territory. Where it's still 1 out of 2, and 2 out of 2 Northern Mariners. Okay, we gotta do that right now then. Not Gavin. Oh, again, we gotta be in our own territory for this to actually work. This place, we need those on field. Ally begins outpost construction. Good for Ally, good for Ally. Enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle, sword of might, want a jet. Okay, we gotta do some itemization now as well. Okay, so, to double check, I assume this is full of rats. If it isn't full of rats... No, it is, we saw that it was. I don't like the fact that you're down here. Theodoric, I would like you to move... Move to the water. We'll use you to defend Volgan. Again, he's getting his own army as a reward for the materials at sea, but we need to deal with this stuff first. You are going to briefly at least sit in Volgan, I think, because if we're about to declare war on Clan Skull, or whatever these guys are, Creepus rather, Skull is dead. And then we need to make sure that they don't, suddenly kill off this guy. Alright, so you're in a good position. Elspeth, I think you can actually make a stop here and wipe out Golgi. I don't like that he's been sitting near Altastad and just, sitting there menacingly. Would it be faster to go by river? It actually might be faster to go by land than river. Oh, but if we go by river, we could grab this shipwreck. Which, admittedly, also might be a good idea. It might still be faster to just embark there, although it might not. Alright, fine, go by river. Just in case. I'm not entirely sure. But ultimately, what, it'll cost us like half a turn, even if it's a longer route? I just want to make sure that we grab that... Oh, actually, moving to our own territory would have been conferring a bonus, a little bit of control, and whatever. Alrighty, you guys are good in your place now. I guess we could use... Alright, fine. You know what? We'll use you. We'll do this with you, and then we'll transfer them again, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Gotta do what you gotta do. So we'll grab you two. Just to get the cooldown back up and running. Man, 15? Really? I thought that the Northern Mariners would be one of the 10-turn cooldown. Granted, They're very good, or just Free Company Militia is very good. Particularly for its cost, but nonetheless. Anyway, you're gonna head to Krugenheim. Wait, it's full of rats. Before you do, you are going to grab the Drakwold Riders. Like so. Alrighty, we also have 2 of the Wissenberg's welcomers available, which I do want to put in Elspeth's army because, I mean, it feels like she should have some. Basically. That's basically my entire reasoning there. Alright, and the rest of this is, I guess, going for the rats. Okay, we'll declare war on them in a second. I want to see if I want to move everybody else. So, Karl, starting with you. What turns it's going to take to get the next Imperial Foot? I'd just like to get both of them up and running for Karl at the same time and replace the halberds, but anyway. Kill this. And auto-resolve it. We still have the enemy territory replenishment going for us, and yeah, so just get the money. Then, March Stance. Maybe we can have you grab Furlongen and then... Well, there's nobody else here, but... Oh, these guys will... Yeah, you know what? I don't want those guys to grab it. So, you're just going to... Go into non-March Stance, go here, grab this next turn. Or these guys do. Do we grab this for ourselves? What's our fealty at? We could probably give it to Ostland and just... We've already decorruptified the place, essentially, just by our presence, so I think we're okay. You are going to Rosefels, and you are going to still try to get to Karl. I assume that this guy can't pass through the woods fast enough to reach him. Almost there with the Karobergs. Almost there. And then you, I guess, are going to follow. Do you need to be in March Stance right now? I don't think so.
This will bolster the nation.
This guy's also been racking up the XP, so we're definitely gonna, you know, make him an army. And, alright, I see Silastra still over on this side of the map, which is good, as in she's not coming down here, which doesn't necessitate thus a new army. Charcoal Burner, +1 control. That's for one of the Governor Lords. Actually, speaking of, do we have any new ones available? Esteemed and Marksman Commander, which is good, but we already have one and there isn't a need. Frankly, the Tactician one might actually be a decent option for another Lord of that nature. Let me just see what else we have here. Defensive, that's fine. Tactician. Oh, we have another Tactician. A level 11 one at that. You know what? This would probably be a good Lord to position in our now and just sit there. It's not like they cost a lot of money. You need to be reset. You will also need to be reset. Alright, so let's get you on field, and then we'll reset you because, oh, you have a leader of renown for recruitment and pistol corps. That's not bad. It might still be a better idea to go through Headhunter and Quartermaster, however, so I think we'll still reset you, but I'm gonna keep an eye on you. Yeah, you know what, let's reset you. I just feel like once we declare war on the Norskins, and possibly before, due to Silastra, we'll have to fight these guys here. And a Smuggler for Bruckner, good. Ferryman for Wolfric Kelborg. You are a warrior priest, so this is going to go on a lord, not on you. Alright, Barded Warhorse for somebody, wounded, but really being reset, so you're fine. Alright, and the rest of this looks good to me. That was Karl. Who's next? Dolph Hertvigens. Alright, so we must declare war on Clan Creepus. You are currently at war with Telebekland, so we will join your war against Creepus. For 2.4k? Pretty solid. Alright. And then we will have you go into Greiden, which should be full of rats, but should be a minor settlement, and should be an easy little auto-resolve. And we will have you leech just because. I don't remember if you're supposed to actually be a, you know, a lord that is commanding an army, but for now, leech this. And then transfer it back to the Elector. Like so, free Scarecrow banner and free Coachman. I'll take it. Then Dolph, you still have plenty of Creepus rats to fight. I guess you're going to have to cross the water, so use this ford here near to Telebekland. So go here, and then you are no longer needed. You're going up north, as you will be transferring these guys to the Nordlanders army. You can also channel. And then you can meet up here with Friendly's army, and then grab those 2 more Nordland Mariners, which effectively completes your army minus the missing engineer. Speaking of the missing engineer, alright, 2 more turns. Alright, we'll get you. We'll get you. And okay, we probably still have other moves to make. Gavin. We are now at war with these guys, meaning you can head to Krugenheim. You have your Drakewald riders. You are waiting for more stuff, but you can move on in. Let's see if they have any defenses here. We've got nothing. Alright. Oh, you don't have siege attacker. Okay, we need to make sure... Oh, actually, you'll get siege attacker as soon as we have this. Ah, yet another... Wow, yet another use for the Amber Wizards. Again, Life Wizard best, but Amber Wizard and SFO. Fantastic. Let's see what else we have here. You're gonna get tough as nails for the character XP for the Lord. We will level up just in case another army sort of, you know, appears and annoys us. And also, between Kettle's Call, which summons the Giant Hawks, and the Transformation Kadan, we got double summoning available to the Amber Wizards on top of the Imperial Griffin. It's a fairly significant force that this one hero essentially can make. Frankly, it's probably worth it to have as a unit a single Beast Wizard in pretty much any army. It's just my opinion, of course. But anyway, Pistol Corps. Alright, good. You're ready for fighting eventually. Well, next turn. And let's see, Volkmar Scout. Guess who you're trying to still find? Dwarfen Rebels. You are going to join this little army next turn by the looks of it. Schwarzhelm, you have nearly reached Karl. Well, nearly in the same way that Jürgen and the Karlbergs have. And then you are going to join Gavin and his army as well. And I believe that's everybody. Alright, next Diplo, and then we end the turn, and then we will hopefully have some fighting to do. But hey, again, building up the Empire is a good thing. Order of Lore Master is nearly ready for that non-aggression. No new trade agreements. Sylvania? Oh, Imperial Sylvania, not... Well, actually, the fact that they've revived could potentially be something of an annoyance by virtue of the fact that... we'd then have to confederate them the old way, but maybe not a big deal. Anyway, Darkland Bandits, rather. We'll do this. Give us your money. Oh, actually, join war against House of Korak, right? Yeah, there we go. I did say it was one turn, so it's worth our time. Those guys are going to get confederated by the other Cathans. Anyway, we'll still wait on the defensive alliance with the Urson Revivalists, but we're getting there. Military alliance, probably not worth our time. Just got to keep an eye out on Hunts Marshal and the Golden Order. Dibs on the band name? Order of War Masters. I think we can't do anything about you right now, so I think we can hold off on the rest of this. Though we can take some money out of these guys. We're probably not going to declare war on them. It feels wrong. Especially as they're trying to decorrupt Sylvania. Seems like that kind of helps everybody. Anyway, well, maybe not so much the vampires, but anyway, we still need to make more money, and tons of it, in order to keep our economy growing. But, well, we're working on it. That's going reasonably well. Let's upgrade Dietershofen because it has a port and pastures available, so I think that's worth our time and effort and investment. Tier 3s are not worth it as yet, or at least not so much. So we'll hold off on those. Just make as much money as we can by other means, like so, and like so. Good. And, yeah, we can upgrade Halbensil. I'm actually quite tempted to get rid of the gunnery school here out of Altestad. Maybe we can put it in Halbensil instead and replace it with a foundry. This would immediately allow us to to build. Yeah, it's a tier 3 only, of course. It will enable us to immediately build land ships, which is something that we want. Let's upgrade both the Sino and, well, just the Sino to start. It has a port after all, and then go for the Weaving House here. Yes, that's more money. Every turn, more money. You're fine as you are. At least we're not willing to invest in you right now. You. Go for the village, and the rest of this is okay. And, ooh, -10. That's kind of iffy. Why? -14 from collected income. Oh, 1 turn provincial instability. That'll go away. That's fine. Right. What did we just take that's giving this provincial instability? Was the instability up and running until this thing got built? I guess it doesn't really matter. Because we didn't conquer it, we just colonized it. Unless colonization does that as well. But anyway, you can build a clothier, and I guess we'll wait to upgrade the pastures next turn. Fair enough. You Schadensumpf is fine. We will forego on investment into any of these locations, though I think Word of Frost is going to need to lose the farm, and then we'll eventually build the tap room there. Black Pit is ready for an upgrade, but not willing to invest in it as yet. Glimdwaro, you're fine. Venland, Mason, not so much. And yeah, you know what? Let's upgrade the passive zone. It's going to take so long that I want to do it right now, and then you can switch to Host Vestag. Don't bother collecting money. Alright, we do have a little bit of money remaining, meaning we can probably build up at least a few of the Tailors Guilds, although, oh yeah, more money. Why not? Let's do 1 or 2. There should be at least another one available. What was I going to build here? Oh, the Temple of the Minor Gods. Oh, right. I wanted to do that as well. Okay, well, we're going to have to do that shortly. Build a Tailors Guild. You know what? Save the money. Save the money. I would like to get the Ambassador to the Dragon Emperor for Cathan relationship plus the income from trade, which will effectively allow it to pay for itself very quickly. And then we'll want to get Venerate Shalia basically as soon as the Nemesis Crown seal goes away. Possibly one of these, but anyway. Skip, and I believe we are ready to end the turn. Alright, no attacks in A. Tall walls are up and running. So, what's the next part of Ulrika's quest? Amass a treasury of 15,000. Done. Let's give this a read. The reports were not exaggerated. Bodies abound were discovered, clawed, savaged, and feasted upon by some unholy creature. A peasant comes forth speaking of a near-deadly encounter with a seemingly feral vampire before the intervention of an aristocrat known as Countess Gabriella prevented him from becoming the creature's victim. Curiously, the Countess addressed the vampire as Ulrika. If this is the same individual that Karl Franz once recalled saving his life from a would-be assassin, then further investigation is required. The peasant believes the Countess and Ulrika have retreated to Noctoen Castle. Entering the citadel will require you to masquerade as nobility. Who to masquerade as nobility? Karl, the Emperor, masquerade as nobility? Best achieved with the help of a gold-laden treasure vault. Karl, you're a noble now. Just pretend, man. Just pretend. Anyway. Bait the Bloodborne, sure. And, oh, that was easy. Execute her now. It's only 15 turns. Now, if this, see, who would say no to a legendary hero if it's just, if this was a permanent buff, that would make me consider it, but otherwise, no, obviously. Anyway, upon gaining entry into Noctoen Castle, you discover that it indeed harbors the vampire Ulrika Magdava Straghov and her mentor Countess Gabriella. While both are incredibly strong in their own right, Ulrika's lack of control has caught up with her, causing the two to be backed into a corner and outmatched by the adversary before them. Let me fight them, Ulrika snarls, her fangs bared and swords unsheathed. I've bested greater warriors in single combat. What greater warrior than Karl Franz have you bested in single combat? But anyway, I will not be found wanting for... Before she can continue, Gabriella swiftly steps forward to present another option. Let them go, for Ulrika was turned against her will by a vampire countess. To be fair, a lot are turned against their will. Which is funny because you know, necromancers really often want to be turned, but the vamps laugh at them. But anyway, Gabriella continues, explaining that she was fulfilling a promise to train the young vampiress to do no harm. The story seems genuine, but can such creatures of the night be trusted? The sisterhood who play the games of political misdirection? No, it is clear what must be done. Recruiter, dire times as they are, if the homeland is to be protected, then allies cannot be turned away. Alright, Confederation Goldtooth and Eyebiter, irrelevant. Confederation Ironclaw Orcs and Blueface, sure. It seems to me that this is an odd coincidence that all these confederations are happening at once. Maybe the game is programmed to effectively, you know, have a bunch of factions confederate all at the same time. Anyway, Army receives Plague. Oh, okay, well... That's just the nature of dealing with this. Anyway, onward to Glory Ride. Clearly, though Ulrika and Gabriella are no friends of the Ruinous powers, which are my favorite powers, they cannot be allowed to act of their own accord. Ulrika will not return to Noctoen Castle, but will instead continue her training in our service. While many are unhappy with this decision, perhaps she will find redemption through fighting our enemies, or peace in a noble death. True death. Anyway,
Blood daughter.
what does she do? +2 recruitment rank and +5 leadership for Empire and Kislev melee infantry units, meaning we should put her in an army that has Kislevite auxiliaries. I mean, it's not much of a buff, I will admit, but, you know. Huh. This might actually be decent for an Ulrich army, maybe combine them with a few Kislevites. In terms of the rivalry between Ulrich and... And Ursun, I'm just looking at what she can actually do here. Oh, casualty punishment for the hero's army, which is nice as well. Confident all-rounder. Any other particular buffs to any kind of particular type of unit? I don't see them. I mean, generally speaking, it's a relatively minor buff, but then the Boyar lineage would do absolutely nothing if we had no infantry, so... Anyway, as to what army she should go into now... Carlos is probably the best option. I don't want to get rid of the high-ranking mortars, because I think we can put them in another army. Oh, let me guess. You can't reach this guy? I assume he can't take Norden. At least I hope that he can't. Now here's the problem. These guys are warriors of chaos, so can't they just recruit a bunch of stuff? Well, while I'd like to take Rosefells, I guess we're going to have to chase this guy down. So you're going to go into March stance, so you're going to follow along like this. I don't think we can catch him with these, or at least not easily, but can't have him going after other stuff. So you're going to run. Yeah, these forests are really causing us issues because of this. And wow, yeah, it's going to take a lot of effort to try to go after you, isn't it? Oh well. You are nearly ready to reach Karl. Alright, you're going to go here, Karl. Grab Furlongen just before the Kislevites do. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, we were really... There's a decent likelihood we're gonna have to declare war on these guys. They just keep taking Imperial territory and... Yeah, you know what? While the other Kislevites might not like this, we can't have this. This is too much. And non-aggression pact. They're really not gonna like it, but it is what it is. And, oh, what did that? Well, let me just see here. So the Great Orthodoxy are not going to be happy, and the Ursun Revivalists are not going to be happy, and they're going to be even more unhappy once we kill those guys, but, I mean, we can peace out with them, and then we just need to take 3 territories, right? And then maybe take 1 more territory, and then give it back to them as a trade, and get our relationship with them going again. It's annoying, but it's just the nature of this, I guess. Anyway, that doesn't change the fact that you are going to auto-resolve. I'm really tempted to just delete one of the halberds and put Ulrika in. It's a shame to lose a, well, not quite high-tier halberd, a reasonably high-tier halberd. But there's nobody else here that I'd like to delete, and we have plenty of halberds all over the place, so just to get the bonus XP for... Like so.
Bring me to my men.
And we'll put her in whatever army we do want to later. Alright, let's occupy... No, we will return to Elector. This way we can preserve our movement, and have Karl move towards Rosefells and then Brass Keep. Free Engineer's Knapsack, that'll come in handy in some certain types of armies. Karobergs! Alright, cut through the woods. Cut through the woods, go here. I assume this guy won't be able to catch you here, and then you were going to join Gosser's army, but I believe you can't trade right now, so we'll pop you into this army instead right now. And then Schwarzhelm, you're going to go into Karl's army, so you're going this way. Ah, at least these guys have nearly reached each other. Oh, I also want to double check. What are we at? Okay, we need somebody who's in our own territory. What are we at in terms of... Oh, we're at 2 out of 2. Okay, next turn we gotta get them both up and running to get the cooldown up and running again. Dolph, I would like you to go into an camp stance to avoid the ambush. Any potential ambush, that is. I would like you to move this way. I would like you to move together with him. Actually, you can march stance. I don't think they're going to go after you. At least I doubt it. But as long as these guys move together, we should be okay. I hope. Hopefully it's not a bad idea. And you don't immediately get ambushed. Channel, I guess, and we shall see. You are going to go down to Gavin, who gets the free territory here. Oh, hello. I see that Creepus is upsetty about this, but it's easy auto-resolve, which should be effectively no damage, or do little enough damage for us to be concerned with. And we can, I guess, return this to the Elector for now. Again, we are going to be continuing to confederate... camp. Continuing to confederate these factions. You can then go right here outside the settlement. We'll see if these guys decide to attack you. Alright. And there probably are other armies belonging to them, but we'll just deal with it as we go. It would have been faster to go by land, but whatever.
The law of death.
Go out there. South Bank is ready for an upgrade. Okay, we do have to prioritize that for the Imperial Palace and the, well, all of the landmarks here, meaning we're going to switch you to Council of Burgomeisters and get ready to pop that back up. Slanashi giggle. What do we have otherwise in terms of this particular turn? Wolfric Ergiga, you are going north, wherein you will be getting ready to... Yeah, we should be able to build a Nordland army relatively quick. I want to ally with Boris to start getting allegiance, and we can't really leave the Norskins up there to do their own thing. A Volkmar scout. Obviously, you are continuing to go find Volkmar. Still a fair bit of traveling to do. How are the dwarfs? Okay, so Thorgrim has returned. Hopefully he doesn't die, because we can't really afford new armies as yet, but we're getting there very soon. Now let's see what we've got in terms of... Exiles of Nehek. They're probably not super friendly with these guys, but... nonetheless, I don't see a reason not to be friends with them right now. Plus, they're willing to give us money and eventually trade agreement. Let's hope that by virtue of being friendly with us, they will become more friendly with Teclis and the other factions down there. Karak Norn, we're going to continue ignoring. Gisaro, same. Karazakara, Golden Order, Kuhan, military alliances. I mean, Kuran's a decent option for a military alliance, the bonus allegiance A, and we are already at war with the Drowned, which have declared war upon us, so they're probably not going to get us into any wars that we can't deal with ourselves right now. Huh. This guy takes... Still wondering whether we want the Bretonnian territories. Nope. You know what, this guy will probably actually pay us more for that if we wait a little bit, so maybe we wait a little bit. Alright, then, as I was saying, we want the ambassador to the Dragon Emperor. It's going to cost 10,000 gold, but it'll be worth our time and investment rather soon. Otherwise, we got a little bit of building to do, and then end the turn, and hopefully see some rats attacking. Alright, ignore this. I would love to upgrade Tom, or at least start on upgrading it. But at 5.6k, we're probably better off building buildings that will make us money. South Bank will be upgraded next turn. You're fine. You will need a weaving house. Altstud, we were going to go for the foundry here, so gunsmith, gunforge. Vorbergland, fine for now. Liska, yes, we will upgrade the village here, and... I guess you can go into Host Festag, although this place is going to be continuously constructing for the next little while, so maybe we can just... keep it as it is. You're fine as you are, River Talabek. You will want to upgrade your Imperial Harbor. No, you will want to switch to Council of Burgomeisters so that we can upgrade it next turn. Brockel, you are fine as you are. The tavern wouldn't be amiss, but I think it'll fix itself shortly. Anyway, Dukelberg, yes to the cattle ranch. And then the rest of the money I think we'll want to save. Perhaps for one of the god venerations. Also, Emperor of the Empire, 5,000. We are nearly there. Just got to save up a little bit more so that we have essentially some in the bank, and then we can get that going. Garrison Lord not moved, unassigned skill points, building upgrade available, outpost available, and end the turn. Alright, migration will go. I like the control, or I like the growth, but not at the cost of control, especially since we're going to confederate again soon, so yeah. Be gone, no thank you. Spend multiple turns in March stance, Legion of Setup, we still have to kill them as well. Ally occupies settlement Midland, oh good. And now we have another plague, okay. Hey, Research 8 Technologies, meaning we have a Talisman of Preservation, not for Karl since he has the Silver Seal, but I'm sure that'll come in very handy. There we go, Ambassador to the Dragon Emperor increases our trade income, which is nice, and more importantly, the relationship with Catha. Beautiful. Next, we could probably risk getting this right now, but maybe wait another turn. Ooh, we're getting closer to assembly line as well, which is nice. Now, we can wait for Venerate Shalia, but there are other minor venerations that we could do. Verena is really nice because of the control. The research rate is kind of meh because eventually a couple of tech... Well, essentially... It's less than a single tech thief worth, so in the late game it becomes worthless, and control is always nice, but I don't know. Is it better than the other options? Growth, again, empire-wide, plus 30 is not insignificant, but 20 campaign movement range in the old world feels like the best option, even though I also really like Ranald with the magic item drop chance. The other thing is that we can essentially do this ourselves with enough wizards, though admittedly it would be getting it right now, but yeah, I just can't say no to 20 movement range. It's worth the money. So we're gonna venerate Manan. And admittedly, considering Manan or various versions of him are pretty widely worshipped, it also does make sense as a choice. Anyway, we're gonna have Karl, I guess, occupy Rosefells, or maybe, well, one of you has to. I guess we could use you to do it, so that Karl doesn't waste the turn. We still have to chase this guy, though. All right, fine. You're gonna go here. You're gonna occupy it because there's no defenses there, and we will. I think this is one of those situations where we want to occupy it rather than returning it to the Elector and then just trade it back to them. Yeah, alright. Briefly. We're not going to build it up, we're just going to trade it to them. Why I want to do that is to move Karl here, and then to move Jurgen here, with 2 more of the Imperial Foot, because we got to get them off cooldown, and we got to get the Wissenberg's welcomers as well. You're going to go here. And then you're going to trade these 3 to Karl. And Karl has too many heroes now, it feels, but whatever. Alright, go here.
Is it time?
And I might take these 2 Imperial Foot back out of Karl's army eventually, but that eventually is not right now. You know what, I think we no longer need the mortar, it's kind of a hassle to deal with. And take out the handgunners, because these guys are all definitely going in other armies. And the halberdiers, 2 of them we could just upgrade to greatswords should we desire to do so, but, yeah. Anyway, you're gonna go here, and you're gonna transfer. And you guys stay there while Karl heads to Brass Keep and the destruction of this particular faction. And Gosser, you can chase Hordred. And, oh, I forgot about Schwarzhelm. Meaning we do have to lose another halberd. Alright, fine. We'll need more knights in here, and a couple of steam tanks, and there's a bunch of stuff that we need in here. But you gotta remember that Karl has a bunch of extra heroes that are kind of in the bank right now, in the sense that we will be swapping them out for other stuff later. It's just gonna have to take a little bit of time. And, ooh, yes, I would like you to get Esteemed Combatant into Retinue Trainer, and just to double check, you don't have Retinue Trainer, do you? You have We Are the Elite, which is great. But we'll do the points for these guys as usual when we actually fight rather than now. How many turns is it going to take? 3? How much money are you willing to give us for this immediately?
Only Sigmar's god, Ulrich, can judge
4K? Yeah, we'll just do it without the investment and transfer it to them and let them build it up until we are ready to confederate them. They're also probably not going to be super happy about us killing off these Kislevites, but again, they really shouldn't be holding so much Imperial territory. It's too much, because there's already a fair amount that we are likely to not get, and we really need the Imperial authority to at least get to prospering. I'm not sure that we'll be able to get true heirs of Sigmar without killing off Alora Lorne and Bugman's Brewery and stuff, which I think it feels too wrong to do. Though I do wonder that if we take Bretonnian lands, whether we'd be able to counteract all that, so maybe we can. Anyway, you in march stance now. You here. You will transfer these 2 Nordland Mariners, completing Dulf's army minus the lack of the engineer, which actually might be available now. Like so. These 3 will be transferred to Gavin. Theodoric von Blutten, you are going to move down towards Horno, which has no rats in it unless I'm mistaken. Or does it? Well, guess we're about to find out. Hopefully you don't get ambushed by rats. Ain't so great. Anyway, Ibn Shielder, you are going to go south to... Where's Gavin again? I'm lost. Oh, here we go. Oh, and it looks like these guys backed off Mortheim. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Well, I guess I could go for Hazelhoff first. Okay, next turn. Yeah, there they are. Which will not be walled right now. And also double checking. How are we for confederating? -24. Getting there. A little bit closer. Zipland. Jade Court. Okay, this is an important one. We gotta get that trade going with them as well, but that ambassador, the Dragon Emperor, is helping us already, which is nice. And the rest of this we're ignoring. Darkland Bandits. We could do a defensive alliance with them. It'll give us a bunch of Vision of Darklands stuff, though, which is not necessarily a good thing, but it will be an additional ally bonus, so I'll certainly think about it. Nobody here I want a really military alliance with, though. Great Orthodox. I mean, eventually... Oh, right. We're going to probably have to help them with Scarbrand and with... Damn, Boris. Wow. Again, doing fantastic. We're going to have to help them with Scarbrand and with... Bone Rattlers, but you know what? That feels like something appropriate for Karl to do. Get a pretty good sort of relationship with Kislev going. These guys are ready to peace out already. Not enough money as yet, though. We will do it once they're willing to offer a little bit more. Governor Hertzeller, you need to be ranked 12, so we can ignore you. Wolfric Ergiga, you will go up here. For the Nordland Army, Elspeth, you will be just short of this place. Alright, you know what? We should get the cooldown off on the Wissenberg's welcomers. So, let's take a look at here. We have defensive and esteemed, neither one I care for. Protective is not bad. Grandmasters, Varena's Blessing, and Dwarfen Plate Armor, which is not bad. And Genius and Optical. Man, been really waiting for a nice Master Engineer. Just hasn't happened. Alright, let's get one of the free guys then. You, maybe? Or is it you? Wait. No, it's you. Alright, and we will get you here. Then, I would like you to begin constructing Karl's first steam tank. Do I want to get a couple of steam tanks in Elspeth's army or just regular artillery pieces? I'm not sure. These take 3 turns, so it's going to be a while, and I want to deliver one to Karl. Because we've replaced the mortar, and I want him to have an artillery piece. I also want him to duel Scarbrand, so we'll do that. Oh, wait. Before you do that, Root Marcher into Leader of Renown for the recruitment cost reduction, and I guess Iron Disciplinarian. None of this helps with the recruitment unless I'm mistaken, so yes, irrepressible. And then you can do the Steam Tank. And also, before I forget, Higher Mercenaries from Golgi. I would, but no. Wissenberg's Welcomers. Or Elspeth, and... Do we just build the Knights of the Black Rose? We can... Well, no, I feel like... We can build them right now, and they'd be ready by the time Elspeth moves on in, but I still like the idea that these are basic Empire Knights that have to be inducted into the order. They have to prove themselves, so... You know what? No, we won't build them. We'll upgrade them. But we will build the... just build both Steam... Oh, no, you can only build one. Oh, we don't have the money to build both. That's fine. Go for the volley gun for Karl. Alrighty, and that's all our money. I wanted to do a little building, but I guess there were more critical things to do, I suppose. Alrighty, you're moving southward, and I believe we're ready to end the turn again. So, Karl, skip, and unturn. Alright, hey, we got a full stack now. Ooh, with Aspiring Champions. Wait, did this guy just recruit this in one turn? This guy wasn't here before, right? Well, I'm glad that he is now, because that'll be a proper debut and fight for the Karoberg Greatswords. And beautiful. Anyway, Supervisor, ready for duty, technology research. Yes, campaign, movement range, and income from ports. Income from ports is not as relevant as I'd like, because we don't have a crazy amount of ports, but it looks like, yep, there's the anti-player bias working. She's going to bypass the big faction that she shares like a dozen borders with, and instead will move towards us. I don't think she can take Fort Solace, but it does mean that we'll need to make an army here. Alright, we'll deal with this in a bit. It does mean probably spending a little bit more cash on them, but, well, it's probably not for the Nordlanders. Certainly something to think about, though. But anyway.
I will marshal the band.
Gosser. was going to have you lead the Nordland army. Would it be faster to build one here or to just send you over there? I will think about it. Karl, you're obviously going to Brass Keep. We'll see if they're willing to sally out. I'll give them one chance to do it. They do have aspiring champions and dragon ogres and some good stuff after all. But if they don't, they don't. Alright, and now we have extra troops here on all of you.
What does the Emperor bid?
And, well, I guess one of you can still follow Karl in order to trade or to occupy something. What do you do again? Okay, so you have the armor pedigree, which is great. Waldemar, marksman command. Okay, so yeah, you're getting the new army. I think you can keep the... Yeah, we're going to be an artillerist army, although the grenade army might also be a decent option. Or the just straight up guns army. But that would probably be better with an engineer rather than a artillerist commander kind of guy. Meaning you would probably need melee troops and range troops, a sort of decent mix of those. Alright, I will get back to this. I will think about it. We need to do some other stuff first. So, Dolf Hertwigens, you are gonna head to Lockrefort, I guess? And then Finlay, you are going to move southward because you need to reach Gavin. Looks like these guys, oh, they bypassed Gavin. Can you reach... you can reach at least this one army. You will suffer attrition, but it is what it is. And these guys seem to be going to Horno. Alright, so, rather than take Horno, you're going to appear here. You're going to move down here as well. Stay near them just in case it's full of rats, in case... Yeah, you know what? Go here. Hopefully it isn't. Would be a shame to lose those guys. Elspeth, you're going to quickly grab this. And auto-resolve whatever it may be. And take the money. Lovely. Alright, then you're gonna head south. Apprentice Wizard, another 8k, that will come in handy since we need to recruit and do stuff. You'll land at Altstad. Like so. Alright, these guys are nearly ready to be inducted. Could have built them by now, but oh well. And you will then grab the Wissenberg's Welcomers. I guess we'll trade those for the regular war wagons. I do still think that there's a good use for them, but they don't necessarily need to be in this army. You can also be upgraded now that you've earned your stripes to Null Ironsides. And then you guys are not there yet, but you will be. You guys will become Knights of the Black Rose, Null Ironsides. You guys will by and large need to be replaced by artillery. Maybe not all of you. We still need some heroes in here. Oh, yeah. We definitely need at least one champion to take the place of Bruckner, though. Although, admittedly, Elspeth maybe doesn't need one as much. Oh, right, before I forget, we really wanted to upgrade this here. Altdorf, will you increase hero capacity any further? No, okay, so we'll need more wizard buildings as well. You can go back to... Go for Imperial Taxation, because your public order is already good. Your public order is kind of in the same situation, so... Good lord, that's going to take a long time. I mean, we should probably get started on it, though. I wish it wasn't so horrifically expensive, but it is what it is. Upgrade it, and then switch to Imperial Taxation as well to get the additional cash, since the public order has been counteracted effectively. And several other provinces will do the same once the buildings have been built. Next, tech. We're going to continue moving through assembly line. And we'll probably want to grab the ambassadors to the Tsarina and the ambassadors to the Royarch of Britannia with gusto, because we're probably going to declare war on a Bretonnian and a Kislevite faction, and we'll want to deal with it. We are able to get Emperor of the Empire now as well. You know what, let's start with Emperor of the Empire. And then we'll move back through this, and then once we have a little bit of spare change, we'll deal with those as well. There is also something to be said for, oh, this is minus 10% cost for province capital and settlement buildings. I mean, it wouldn't pay for itself, but you know what? We're actually going to get this first, and then we will do this next turn. Save on a decent bit of money like that. Alright. And at least this way we retain the money. Oh, and actually we won't lose a turn because that reduces the construction turn time by 1 as well, doesn't it? Alright. And we can do Emperor of the Empire right after. And the dwarfs will like us more as well. But we don't have an ambassador to, I don't know, the court of the king in the woods, but It is what it is. Anyway, Gavin, we were going to have you fight a battle. So let's have the Empire Captain leveled up, and then let's move on in. Let's grab, we are the elite, I guess. We'll need the additional armor. And pop on in to kill you. These guys might immediately attack you and reprisal after, so we got to be careful about taking too much damage. It is a smaller fight, but I still think it's worth fighting. Especially since it's been a bit since this army's fought. Go. Huh. The Lord didn't make a speech this time, huh? I wonder if the Grand Masters actually do make speeches or not. You'd imagine that they'd have the same lines as the Empire Generals or something. But anyway, not a big deal. We're facing off against the Skaven now, which is nice to see. Also, I really like this map and just lighting scheme in general. It's working with the sort of Reikland colors of the Huntsman. And gotta remember to get the, a nice Reikland army up and running as well. It does depend on which of the factions will be our next confederations after the legendary confederations, I guess. But anyway, like I said, nice to be fighting some Skaven as the Empire's borders essentially grow as we push back against the tide of destruction and retake the territories of the Empire. We will be getting even more variety. I mean, just this episode we fought Vamps and Greenskins and Nurgle, and now the now the Skaven as well. Solid variety. Anyway, as I said, the Amber Wizard has some solid use. I'm going to summon that Manticore with the transformation of Kadon and then get the Great Hawks summoned. Unfortunately, the Hawks have tiny amounts of HP, only 4,000 for 24 models, meaning they're extremely fragile, but I would imagine we can still use them to tie up and annoy artillery and things like the slingers. I feel like if you wanted to give the Hawks the such low damage, I think that like the Great Eagles, SFO should give them bleed if it doesn't want to give them a massive amount of HP. Well, massive, but increase their HP, because again, 4,000 is basically nothing. They're taking damage unit of, like, they just lost 40% of their HP fighting a unit of Skaven slave slingers, so, yeah. Anyway, otherwise, the battle is going well in our favor. Our massive line of halberds and spears are holding back the tide of rats, while the Grandmaster, the Manticore, and our Empire Captain are in the process of dueling the enemy Chieftain and the enemy Warlord, both of which are looking to be on the verge of losing. Also gotta remember to probably take this Empire Captain off the Pegasus. I'll think about it. There we go. The is going to get back up, but probably not for too long. Looks like some Skaven slave spears moved in to finish off the Great Hawks, which quickly get obliterated, but at least they cleared out that one range unit. Now it's just a matter of time as we continue to drop flocks of doom upon the rats, and then pincushion them as best we can with the range units that we have. And we do have some storm vermin with halberds that are going to move on in. Not to worry, though. The rest of the enemies are going to have a pretty bad day. The Dreckwald Riders crash into their back line and quickly force the clan rats to rout here. And a similar sort of situation over on the left flank as an isolated unit of admittedly clan rat spears will attempt to hold the Dreckwald Riders off. They do have anti-large, but they have very little in the way of armor-piercing damage, and even basic Empire Knights and their variants are very heavily armored. And it's nice to see them fight. And balanced power shifts about 95% in our favor at this point. Both the Chieftain and the Warlord have been defeated, and it's just a matter of time as the last of the rats get ridden down. These guys are wavering, very tired, and unit losing, surprisingly not decisively, but it'll be decisively enough for our purposes. There we go. Looks like the units that were still in the fight are now breaking. It is fighting rats, though, so a few of them, I imagine, will return. And it looks like the Spira Knights here are the only ones still fighting. At least still fighting in melee. The range units, I believe, are still firing off a few shots, getting some nice air. There we go. I always like to think of these as little contests between the knights, seeing who can get the most air on individual enemies as they charge on in. Anyway, there we go. That little rat unit has been cleared out. Oh, a unit of clan rats has returned. All right, well, we're going to charge them again with the Spirik here and lead them with the Grandmaster as well. Like so, and with that, I do believe that unit will shatter. A few of the others will return. But probably not for long. Balance of power is at about 95, maybe 98% in our favor, just a sliver, and then rushing the lines of pikes and halberds is not going to go any better now that you're heavily damaged than it did when you were not. There we go. With that, the rats will shatter. We get one final charge in from the knights as they do, and the battle is ours. Very nice. Alrighty, well done. Gavin's army is not quite yet ready. Like I said, I want to replace the huntsman with a couple of Gunderman surefires, and we'll see about what else. Oh, and obviously we want to get a couple more knights in here. Eldred's Guard for the halberd, for the spears, in order to buff up the halberdiers even further if they're going to be the main line here. I think this probably is an army that won't have artillery pieces, because we can use Gundermans for that particular purpose, as they have 200 range and entrench on them as well, meaning they can, if not quite outshoot artillery, they can certainly get close to it. Anyway, decisive victory for us. Lovely work. Alright, there we go, and ooh, 258 kills and 22,000 damage on Spera, our first Drakewald Riders, which, by the looks of it, did pretty darn well. Good for them. And we've reached rank 15 on Gavin. I don't remember whether that has any significance for Grandmasters, but I guess we're about to find out shortly. Anyway, we will take the money. Although we will probably suffer attrition and might get attacked by these guys again. Or, not again, but anyway, might get attacked by these guys, and we shall see. Channel, I guess it's the only option. Does rank 15 do anything for us? I don't believe it does. Well, we have bolstered leadership. I guess we could do that. I mean, probably the better pick over a rally here, as nobody is going to be able to take advantage of the rank 7's next level up anyway. So let's do bolstered leadership. Alright, and just to double check, are the Drakewald Riders 15 turns, or are they 13, 11 more in Northern Mariners? Oh, they're 10 turns, or did we get them 5 turns ago? I don't remember, but well, we'll get more for them later. And yes, I'm aware that we can spend prestige on resetting them. I think it's just not worth it right now, especially because it has a 15-turn cooldown itself, and there are others to confederate. Speaking of confederate, 11. Ooh, so close. Actually, if we could get the Hunts Marshal Confederation up and running... Oh, he probably lost his main stag, didn't he? I wonder if there's anything we can do to get this to happen. Hopefully he doesn't just get wiped out here next turn. It's a distinct possibility. Well, maybe not next turn, but it's coming. Anyway, just keep that bonus relationship rising. We still have to deal with Silostra, and we have to swap these units and stuff around as well, which is also a consideration. Anyway, Ebon Shielder, ooh, you are so close to being able to reach Gavin, but not quite there. All right, watch him get assassinated next turn. I would not even be surprised. Anyway, you're gonna go down here, Gosser and stuff. Alrighty, so I think maybe this is probably gonna be a good place to call this episode here. I want to do a little bit of admin and just sort of swapping units around and figure out who's gonna go where, and then start sending them this way to deal with Silostra and / building up the army with, again, I haven't completely decided whether it be the Grenade Army or whichever other army that we're going to do next. I did want to build the Artillery Army, and Fort Solace does have our artillery buildings, which also would make sense, but somebody will probably need to defend our now either way. Assuming she doesn't instead decide to declare war on Chantillon and the Marches of Kuhan, but it looks like she's trying to go this way. I also do note some islands around here, which might warrant that army going out and grabbing some of those before maybe moving to Help Bretonia or coming down here and attacking these guys. We haven't made friends with them in this entire time as yet, so we very much could even though it feels wrong. Anyway, I will think about it either way. I'm calling it here next time we deal with that. Elspeth will attack a Golgi next turn and wipe him and his one camp out before heading through the lands towards, or through Averland specifically, towards Sylvania and starting the fight against the undead. These two armies will continue working on Clan Creepus, while Karl moves to the Brass Keep. As soon as we end the turn, most likely we'll get a nice fight with some aspiring champions, Dragon Ogres and other stuff. And then we'll try to probably knock out these Kislevites. Oh, we'll probably want to keep an army back here to be able to knock this army out. That's probably something to do as well. Anyway, because it's going to take 10 turns before we can declare war on them. I wish the Empire had a sort of special mechanic to them where if another faction holds Imperial territory, where we have other options than wiping out allies for doing so, but this I'm not super happy with, and it's essentially two territories of ours that will get screwed over by this, so we're just going to have to deal with it as best we can and hope that we can counteract it with the ambassador to the Tsarina. Anyway, more Karl to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially to Threshold for the longer episodes, and stay tuned for another bonus episode later today. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.